Now, I wasn't able to do an episode of the show like I'd hoped, so I'm doing a mystery pop-up segment. Now, this month is Multiple Hereditary Exostoses Awareness Month. Now, multiple hereditary exostoses, or MHE as it's also called, is a genetic condition often passed down to a child by a parent, but it can also be caused by a genetic mutation, meaning it can occur on its own by a change. Now, the gene for MHE produces a protein that affects bone growth and development, causing bony growths called exostoses. Now, the growths may cause soreness when they arise under tendons or areas that get bumped easily. Now, some of the problems a person with MHE may experience are pressure on the tendons, nerves, and vessels, angular deformities in the arms and legs due to the growths, and limb length differences, or if one limb is more involved with the growth than the other. Now, growths can be malignant or cancerous, but that's only in roughly 5%. Now, I personally know some folks that live with multiple hereditary exostoses, and I can only imagine what they go through on a daily basis. And this is MHE Awareness Comic Hero Tee. And inside the speech bubble, you have the muscles flexing, and that's my way of encouraging those that with MHE to fight. And then right here on the left sleeve, you have the ribbon. And then here on the left sleeve, you have Hope for a Cure, Multiple Hereditary Exostoses. Now, if you would like one of your own, you can find it on my website, IamTheComicHero.com, for $17. Now, I know the month is coming to a close, but I'm going to extend the availability of this shirt all the way through the month of November. All right, now I bought some books, but because I'm not able to do an episode, I'm going to go ahead and reveal those right now. So here we go. All right, first up is Avengers number 61. Batman Superman World's Finest number 8. Black Adam number 5. Captain America Symbol of Truth number 6. Dark Crisis Young Justice number 5. The Flash number 787. Flashpoint Beyond number 6. I Am Batman number 14. Iron Man number 24. Really excited about this one. Miracle Man the Silver Age number 1. Thor number 28. X-Force number 33. And finally, X-Men number 16. Alright, that's 13, which brings the total number of comics I've bought since December of 1997 to 11,652. Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, ask and answer a question, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and it's my birthday, y'all, and you are watching a Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro. edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. It's my birthday, y'all. Very thankful and blessed to see another year, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm 41. And this is a Comic Hero tee that I made for myself, and inside the speech bubble you have the number 41 in Roman numerals. And then I want y'all to see is this is something else I did. I decided, well, I'm 41 and I'm the birthday boy. I know that looks like a jersey or a fraternity shirt, but yeah. But I just want to go ahead and say this. In any and all things that you have, in any and all things that you do, always be thankful. I mean, there are folks that, it would be so easy just to think, okay, well, I have this, but I don't have that. You don't have that because it's not for you. Be thankful for what you do have because that's for you. And then, if you're one of those people that think you're not worthy of it, stop. There are folks that only wish they had what you have. So, be thankful. Be worthy. Alright, as a birthday gift, my mom took me out to see Black Adam, and my review of it is going to be in the Comically Speaking segment. But for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on the last episode, I asked which Fantastic Four villain once took up the mantle of Iron Man after Tony Stark was presumed dead. Well, the correct answer is Dr. Doom. Now, if you would have said Victor Von Doom, which was his real name, I accept your answer. And 5 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, the name's been entered in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is... Eric Evans from Benton, Louisiana. So congratulations, Eric. You yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is both a Flash and a Justice League question. True or false? Barry Allen is the only Flash that's ever been a member of the Justice League. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. So, I gotta ask, any questions?
Questions are often rambling. Questions that didn't rhyme. Questions that will survive. Questions.
All right, I only have one question for this week, and it's from Chad Blackwell from Shreveport, Louisiana. He asked, have you ever considered adding a sports segment to the show? Well, Chad, I haven't, and I'm not going to. And now, when I started doing the show 9 years ago, for the longest time, I always... the subject matter never changed, but there were times where I got off subject and talked about other things. And over time, that got me in a lot of trouble. So what I started doing was I stuck to the subject matter, which is comic books and everything within the realm. And then I started raising awareness of different causes, and then celebrating holidays, and then celebrating people. Now, I do, at the end of every calendar year, have a college football playoff episode of the show, and that's usually after I'm done with the Christmas episodes. And I've been doing this since 2015, and what I do is I show some love to all 4 schools that are in the college football playoffs. And I'm going to continue doing it. And 2 weeks after that, I celebrate or show some love to the national champions. And then in April, and this is something I started doing earlier this year, I started celebrating the men and women's college basketball champions. And so that's the closest I'm ever going to come to doing that. That's a great question, Chad. Really loving these questions that a lot of y'all are asking me. Y'all keep them up, and remember, they can pertain to comic books or anything within the realm or even the show. Please, no personal or tasteless questions. I will not ask nor answer them. Alright, now it's time for Comically Speaking. So without further ado, let's talk comics! Hey everyone. Now once again, I wasn't able to do an episode of the show this week, so I'm doing a mystery pop-up segment. And as I'm doing this, It's October 31st, the final day of October. It's Halloween, and I hope y'all had a safe, fun, and awesome Halloween. Now, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Now, domestic violence is a pattern of abusive behavior in any relationship that is used by one person to gain or maintain control over another intimate partner. Now, it's also, sadly, the most unreported crime in the world. Yes, domestic violence is a crime. And 1 in 3 women and 1 in 3 men here in the U.S. experience domestic violence in their lifetime, and 1 in 3 teens experience dating violence. Now, folks, these are very high numbers. I mean, these are unspeakable numbers. 1 in 3? These are numbers that don't just need to come down. These are numbers that need to be non-existent. Now, studies show that folks who are on the giving end of domestic violence do so as a result of either having low self-esteem or low self-worth. But really, there's no excuse. I don't care what kind of life or what kind of upbringing you had. You need to grow up. Just because you had a rough life does not mean you get to treat your significant other any kind of way. And you're probably thinking, well, I'm grown. I said, no, you're not. Well, my thing is, you're not grown. You're just a child with a temper, and it needs to stop. Especially for married couples. You know, when you married that person, you made sacred vows. You promised to be there for them, to cherish them, to comfort them, not to violently lay your hands on them. I mean, that's just words can't describe how evil that is. And yes, I said evil, because it is. And for those that are on the receiving end of domestic violence, my heart goes out to y'all. And my heart goes out to the families of all the victims. And to all the survivors, you don't deserve the mistreatment that y'all are getting. And they don't deserve you for mistreating you. And I'm urging you, if this is currently happening to you, you need to call the police. Now, I know it's your significant other, but guess what? It's also your life. You know, I know quite a few survivors of domestic violence, and I knew some victims of domestic violence. And I mean, I just can't stress enough how evil this is. And if you're not comfortable with calling the police, there are hotlines that you can call. There are folks who specialize in helping people that go through this ordeal. There are folks that want to do absolutely nothing but help you. Please, ma'am, please, sir, call these numbers. And don't say that there aren't any hotline numbers, because yes, there are. There are hotline numbers for domestic violence. For bullying, you name it. Don't think that there's no end in sight, because there always is. It's just like I always say, adversity is temporary. And this is a domestic violence awareness themed Comic Hero Tee. Inside a speech bubble, I have the hands up, which means that domestic violence needs to stop. And then with the CH, I did something very noble. On this side of the sleeve is white. That represents the survivors, and the black represents the victims. It's in loving memory of every person that has lost their life to domestic violence. And then here on the left sleeve are the words "not today," because domestic violence doesn't need to happen today or any day. And then here on the right sleeve is the words "no excuse for abuse," because there really isn't. And if you would like one of your own, you can find them on my website, IamTheComicHero.com, for $17. And just like the multiple hereditary exostoses awareness comic hero tee, this one will be up throughout the month of November. You know what, honestly, we shouldn't. I mean, I know that we have months where we raise awareness of different causes, but anyone can go through something in any month of the year. And there just doesn't need to. I mean, it could happen. You know, in January, February. It could. I mean, it could be out of the month that is observed. All right, now I bought some more comics. I'm gonna let you know where they are. So here we go. First up is Action Comics number 1048. The Amazing Spider-Man number 12. The Avengers X-Men Eternals Judgment Day number 6. Detective Comics number 1065. New Mutants number 31. Really excited about this one. Star Trek number 1. Strange number 7. Thunderbolts number 3. Tim Drake Robin number 2. Venom number 12. Wolverine number 26. Finally, X-Men Legends number 3. Alright, that's 12, which brings the total number of comics that I've watched since December of 1997 to 11,664. Alright, there are 3 things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first is my review of Black Adam. Now, I went to see it, and let me tell you, that movie was awesome! I mean, the writing, the directing, the production, the music, all of it was just great. And Dwayne Johnson, in addition to playing the lead role, was also a producer on the show, on the movie. I don't know why I said show. But it wasn't just him. I mean, the movie is, you know, I believe that just about any movie, no matter what kind of movie it is just as good as the supporting cast. And the supporting cast did not disappoint. You had Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. You had Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. But Quintessa Swindle as Cyclone, oh wow, she really knocked it out of the park. And then Noah Centineo played Atom Smasher. Now, you know, his character was good, but then he was kind of like the comic relief, kind of like how Jim J. Bullock was as Monroe Ficus on Too Close for Comfort. That's kind of how his character was, but except he wasn't all that naive. But when y'all, now I'm not going to give away too much, but if y'all go out and see it, just wait till you find out who played his uncle. And then, you know, there were so many others. Sarah Shahi played Adriana, and then there were, other folks. And there was rumored that Henry Cavill made a cameo in that. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He did. And y'all got to go out and see it. If you're going to wait for it to come out on Blu-ray and DVD or streaming on HBO Max, you may want to reconsider, because this movie is very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to anyone. All right, now the second thing is that it's been announced that after the death of William Hurt, they have found their brand new, or Marvel Studios has found their brand new General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, and that is none other than the one and only Harrison Ford. And Harrison Ford is going to first play this role in the movie Captain America: New World Order, which is set to come out in theaters sometime next year. Now, I kind of raised an eyebrow when I found out about this, because I was kind of hoping they were going to go with Sam Elliott, who played him in that dumpster fire of a movie called The Hulk, because his version of Thaddeus Ross was one of the two good things about that movie. The other one, Jennifer Connelly as Betty Ross. But I guess they didn't do it because I guess Sam Elliott was he stars on that TV show on, I don't know if it's Paramount Plus or the Paramount Network, called 1883, which is a very great show, by the way. I would recommend that to anyone. But Ford as Ross, I guess it'll work. I mean, why not? I mean, honestly, I would have gone with Sam Elliott, but hey, I think it'll work. All right, the third and final thing is that weeks ago, it was announced that James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to run the all-new DC Studios, and this comes after Walter Hamada steps down from DC Films, and that was after all the stuff that happened on the set of Justice League, and then the dumpster fire of a movie that was Wonder Woman 1984. I thoroughly did not enjoy that movie at all. And I don't know if Jeff Johns had stepped down or not, but I know Walter Hamada did. And great. And James Gunn, directed The Suicide Squad, which came out in theaters last year, which is another movie I would recommend to anyone. And then also Peter Safran, now he served as a producer on The Suicide Squad. So these two running DC films, I think the future is going to be bright. And I'm really expecting great things from this. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is Avengers Forever number 10. Batman number 129. Batman Incorporated number 1. Black Panther number 11. Captain Marvel number 43. Deadpool number 1. Really excited about this book, and also I want y'all to look really closely at the cover. Now, if that offends anyone, I'm sorry. Where am I? Hulk number 10. The Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 2. The New Champion of Shazam, number 3. Savage Avengers, number 7. She-Hulk, number 7. And finally, X-Men Red, number 8. Alright, that's 12, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 11,676. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tea for next week's episode of the show. True or false? Barry Allen is the only Flash that's ever been a member of the Justice League. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tea on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Eric Evans from Benton, Louisiana, who won a free tea on this week's episode. All right, here's the road ahead for the show. On next week's episode, which is episode 421, I'm celebrating Veterans Day. Now, Veterans Day is when we honor all the men and women in any of the 5 branches of the U.S. military who are still with us today. And then on episode 422, I'm going to raise awareness of adoption. Now, this month is Adoption Awareness Month, and adoption is more than just a process, it's a journey. And I know some folks that themselves were adopted, and I also know some folks that went on the path of adoption. And it's a very honorable and noble thing, to bring a parentless child into a family. I mean, there's just nothing more beautiful than that. And then on episode 423, I'm going to raise awareness of diabetes. Now, diabetes is a condition that a lot of folks don't really know about, and then there are some folks that have diabetes and don't even know they have it. And this is my I think my 4th year raising awareness of this cause. So I'm going to raise awareness of that. And if you know someone who has diabetes, if you knew someone that had diabetes and are no longer with us, this episode is for them. And it's also for anyone that had diabetes but then turned everything around. All right, on episodes 424 through 427, I'm going to celebrate Christmas. This entire desk is going to be decked out in Christmas decor. I'm going to have some Christmas action figures, and I'm bringing it back. The Christmas tree will be on top of this desk, and guarding the Christmas tree once again will be the Christmas Hulk. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and can't wait to celebrate. And also, I'm going to be wearing Christmas comic hero tees. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, I'm also going to have some pop vinyls and a mug of representing the 5 branches of the U.S. military on next week's episode of the show. That's the Veterans Day episode. And then on episode 428, to end the year, and I just talked about this in the Any Questions segment, is the college football playoff episode. Now, right now, it's really up for grabs. There's no telling who will end up being the 4 teams that are gonna go, but this college football season's been great, and I can't wait. All right, really had fun on my birthday. Now, years past, I would always have like a cake or a hamburger or whatever, but I decided not to do that this year because, well, when I celebrated my birthday, it was just with my mother, and in about a few days, I'm going to celebrate with the rest of my family. And if y'all are watching this and y'all plan on coming out, can't wait to see y'all. I mean, I love y'all. I mean, there's one thing, just celebrating birthday with, but in my family, we celebrate it with family. I mean, family is everything with me. And, yeah. All right, I'm Victor Nunley on a Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 421. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and happy birthday to me! If you're on the receiving end of domestic violence, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or text START to 88788. No one deserves to be on the receiving end of abuse, and neither do you. Thank you.